Hello, how are you? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ruth and today I am doing an intro to a new project plan and it is called I Love the 90s. This was created by Laura and it is a fantastic ladies collab, and I'll have all the information linked down below for you. Monthly updates, technically the 1st of January, but I think a lot of us have been a bit flexible with, because there's so many interests in January. I think once it's up in the first week, I think I'll be okay. Fingers crossed Laura won't mind. It's a year-long rolling style project, so she's created a load of prompts and you can choose anywhere from 8 to 10 prompts at a time, and you set goals for your prompt, roll it out, roll in a new prompt, etc. The reason I wanted to do this is because I was a child of the 80s, but I was a teen of the 90s, and to me, I've been a teen of the 90s. oh my, what a time. I mean, it ranged so much in musical style, in fashion, in forming my musical tastes, you know what I mean, all these kind of things. Like you had all the music coming out of Seattle, so you had Nirvana and Pearl Jam, people like Chris Cornell and Dave Grohl and obviously Kurt Cobain and all these wonderful musicians coming out. You had rave music. I loved rave music. I mean, that was coming out hardcore in the 90s. It really started off early 90s and I loved that as well. And I know that seems so weird to be so into like grunge and then so into rave as well. I loved it all. I just loved it all. I loved the fun pop. I loved the rave, the hardcore rave. I loved the grunge. I just loved it all. And the fashion, obviously because of the grunge, you had a lot of the flannel kind of looks, these kind of shirts, and you had, I mean, I have my zigzag fringe on, or the hair, what's it called, center parting. We all had the zigzag hair, dead straight hair as well. Like I remember ironing my hair with an actual iron and using like a brown paper bag as protection so you wouldn't burn your hair. It was a frizzy mess. The reason we had to keep ironing it is because it was so frizzy from all the heating. Sorry, I'm weeping a little bit, just at the nostalgia of it all. Yeah. And like I would have been in what we call secondary school. So, I suppose forming friendships and starting to go out more and go to discos and then go to nightclubs and pubs and stuff like that. And yeah, I just loved it all. I enjoyed the 90s, I have to say. See, the 80s, because I was a child of the 80s, and I know Jaylon has a fantastic, so if you're into the 80s, Jaylon has a phenomenal project. But growing up in Ireland in the 80s, I had 2 TV channels. That was it. So we wouldn't have been in the know with a lot of the kind of American things that were going on, or things that were, in vogue at the time or whatever. And we so I just, a lot of the prompts go by me, shall we say. I don't, and plus I detested the fashion of the 80s. I had a sister who was 6 years older than me, so she would have been big into the fashion of the 80s. So she had the perm and the big hair and all that kind of stuff, and then she went the polar opposite and became a cure head. Brilliant. So yeah, I don't know, the 80s for me, oh no, they rubbed me up the wrong way. The 90s, sweet spot for me. So yeah, enough for me rambling. I also have my little Cindy Crawford mole on, because we all had the mole back then. None of us were getting them checked. God, that's a no person thing to say. Did you get your moles checked? Okay, let's get on. Okay, I'll take down my booklet altogether. So I've got all matte bronzy browns, brownie browns, whatever you want to say. My brown lip liner on, because I've no brown lipstick, so it's as brown as I got, and quite matte. I've no highlighter or anything on, because it wasn't even around back then. We didn't even know what a highlighter was. Are you mad? All we used to for is highlighting our homework. That was it. Anywho, on we go. So first one I got is, what's up? Do you all remember that ad? I think it was in a Coca-Cola. I think it was Coca-Cola ad. It was so funny. Everyone was doing it. Everyone. And then it just became the most annoying thing in the world. A product that is part of your morning routine. So I have chosen the Isntree Green Tree. Bring it back. I know you're excited. It's the 90s, you're all, just calm it down. Isntree Green Tea Fresh Toner. We got there. So this is it here. And I am going to use this completely, obviously. It's only a small one. Lovely toner. I'm nearly out of my current one, so this will just be coming in nicely. Probably take me a month or two to finish. I'll just put a bit either on a reusable pad or just into my hands and press it into the face. I'm looking forward to trying this out. I haven't tried it yet. I think Courtney loves this, so I'm very excited. I'm just thinking there, do you remember as well all the Levi's ads from the 90s? I mean, I can nearly remember, like, we had Still Skin. Great tune. We had Babylon Zoo, great tune. We had Mr. Bombastic. All these great Levi's ads. They were so good. I missed the Levi's ads. They were brilliant. Next up is GNCO jeans. Now, I don't know what that is. I'm guessing it's like what we used to call here super baggies. So if you were kind of into the rave scene, you had really baggy jeans, and they were in colours as well, or you had dungarees. God, the raver dungarees. I had a purple pair and a green pair, and then you had the super baggy jeans that were like, if a gust of wind came, you were gone, like you were up and away like Mary Poppins. So I'm guessing, because it says bulky packaging, so I'm guessing I should have really looked it up. Anywho, what I chose for the prompt is, off she goes, the Be Perfect Cosmetics Dream Big Manifest palette, and it's one of my biggest palettes, so that's what I'm going with for bulky packaging. This is what it looks like on the inside. Quite an unusual colour story. It's like they just, you know, threw the colours in wherever they landed. You know, I don't feel like there's much cohesion to it. Now, if you look at the quads, like if you look at a group of 4 and a group of 4 and a group of 4, you know, maybe you could get a look. I don't know. I bought this because I loved the first one that I got, which was the Carnival 3, and Steph Lyons bought it and really enjoyed it. Not as much as the other one, but then I found it, and I think it had like 20% off or something. I said, here, get it. And I barely used it because I'm a bit confused by it. So I'm bringing this in, and my goal on this is to do it in the no pan left behind style, because I feel like instead of saying 10 uses or whatever, and then I just stick to the same look every time, with no pan left behind, I have to try every single shade in this palette. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that'll be fun, and it'll make me understand the palette better, and hopefully I'll have better thoughts on it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's coming in for bulky packaging. That's that one. Next up is Miss Cleo, a product you feel like is a rip-off. So I have chosen the XX Revolution highlighter in the shade Reactive. So I feel the brand as a whole, XX Revolution, is a rip-off because the what am I trying to say here? The product itself, the quality of that product does not surpass the regular Revolution line. The only thing you're paying for is a bit better packaging. The packaging is lovely. It's very nice, I have to say. But I would have expected the product to be superior to the regular Revolution range as well. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So if you saw my highlighter video, you will know I'm uncertain about this product as to whether I'm keeping it or not. Because it's quite glittery and quite pink. I don't even know if you'll be able to see it really. I want to put it in to try and form my opinion on it and see am I keeping this or not. If I'm not keeping it, what I will probably do is maybe scrape out the product and put it into a lotion so I can reuse the compact, because it is a beautiful compact and it would be lovely to press something into it. So this is coming in, and I'm bringing it in because we're 2022 theme running through all my projects, so I will be using it 22 times, and hopefully by the end of those 22 times I'll have a fully formed decision made as to what I'm doing with this product. Next up is Smells Like Teen Spirit. Oh, I love that song. Not one of my favourites theirs, but you know, it's up. It's an anthem, you know what I mean? I think that was it as well. The 90s had anthems. I was a major Oasis head, do you know what I mean? I loved all the Oasis songs, and they were all anthems. Just like, there was a great as well, Britpop was massive over here in Ireland, obviously, because England is next door. And yeah, there was a great swelling of bands, loads of bands. I love bands. Oh yeah, a scented product. So I get so I'm like, I'm off back in the 90s. A scented product. So I've chosen the Marc Jacobs, what do you call it, because I can't see it, Enamored Gloss in Sugar High. So this has kind of got a bit of a minty scent to it. I have this quite a while, and I feel like I need to start getting some serious use out of it before it turns bad on me, because one, Marc Jacobs is no longer available, and two, like I said, I have this quite some time and I'd like to get use out of it because I do like it. So this is coming in for a 22 usage goal. Next is Thelma and Louise, a duo product. What a classic movie. I loved that movie. And it's so funny now, like seeing Brad Pitt in one of his first roles and stuff like that. It's funny looking back on these movies now. It's like, you know, the Mighty Ducks as well, and you see all the, you know, kid actors that turned into actual, like, what's his name? Pacey from Dawson's Creek, he was in, you know, loads of people like that. Tangent again. What am I going with? I am going with the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow Face Sculpt and Highlight Palette in light medium. I have this special edition packaging. I picked it up from me last year. I do love the packaging on this, apart from the mirror being off center, but okay. My goal on this is to use it again 22 times. So I'm really trying to get my use out of this product because it's over a year old now and I've barely touched it. So I had it in the Handmaid's Tale project and I've hit my goal. No, I haven't hit my goal yet on it. So when I hit my goal in the Handmaid's Tale, I'll roll it into this then, if that makes sense. I hope that's okay with everyone. Because I'm not going to be able to use everything all the time, so you know what I mean, it's okay if that doesn't get used only once or twice in this project this time around, and then next month I'll use it more. You're with me, you know what I'm at. Sure you do. Somebody has to, because I haven't a clue. Beverly Hills 90210, most expensive product. God almighty, like that was, see that's what I'm saying about shows starting to come over to Ireland in the 90s. 90210, Melrose Place, Knots Landing, you know, all those kind of shows came over. All the Aaron Spelling, wasn't it, that kind of created all those, I think. Nearly sure it was. Kind of shows, and we were all obsessed by them. And like back then, you couldn't just, you know, press record and series link and, you know, it's there. Is it TiVo you use in America? You couldn't do that back then. You all had to actually sit down at the time the show came on and watch it. What am I, a peasant? What is going on here? But like we used to just, and I was definitely Dylan, so it breaks my heart. Breaks my heart that he passed away. But yeah, I did. I loved that show, and I loved Shannon Doherty as well, even though she was completely and utterly cray in real life. But I just loved her character because she was kind of the bad girl, wasn't she? And then Brian Austin Green, like what happened there? The geekiest young fella you've ever seen to probably the best looking one out of the whole lot of them now, like crazy. Most expensive product, off on a tangent again. So Courtney very kindly sent this over to me. This is the Algenist Blue Algae Vitamin C Dark Spot Correcting Peel. Now I know this is only, you know, a traveler mini size, but Algenist as a brand, I believe, is quite expensive. So I'm bringing in this, and I need some gimme items in all my projects because I've quite a few projects going on. So I need to have some bits and bobs that are going to be a bit more achievable so that I can roll in new prompts. The whole point of this is to have fun and roll in new prompts and kind of be nostalgic about it all, you know. Next up is The Simpsons. God bless them, they're still going, fair play. A yellow product or packaging. And I have chosen the BH Cosmetics Belgian Waffle palette. I love this palette. I haven't got to use it. It's the Weekend Vibes Belgian Waffle. Oh, I think that there's a whole range, isn't there, Weekend Vibes, so different countries, because I know there was one in Ireland and one in Switzerland, Belgium, there was a Greek one, you know. But yeah, this is the palette, and it's obviously yellow packaging, and this is what it looks like on the inside. So some beautiful bronzers here. This powder I kind of use for cleaning things up if I've made a mess of my bronzer or that, and use it for buffing out eyeshadows and that. The highlighters aren't my favourite in the world. They're a little bit icy, I want to say, if you can see them there. Quite intense highlighters, which wouldn't be my favourite, but I feel like you can, with a fluffier brush, and kind of really buff them in, that you get a nice look with them. So this is coming in, and again, it's coming in for 22 uses. I'm excited to bring this back in. Hasn't been in a project since last year, and I've missed it because I do love that palette. And the last item that I'm rolling in was plaid, because, you know, everyone wore plaid. Oh god, I used to have a gorgeous red and blue and kind of white, and oh, it was lovely. I've never seen one like it since in recent years. I know, you know, some places have come out with these kind of ones, but tangent. Red or blue packaging, and I've chosen blue. Not quite the blue of what the plaid was back then, but it is this kind of just a light blue here. And I have chosen the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Cleansing Balm. So I have a little mini of it here that I picked up from the e.l.f. site. I think I got it free actually with purchase, which I think is a great little idea out of e.l.f. This is it here. I've used it a tiny bit just to make sure that my face doesn't, you know, heat it or anything like that, and it doesn't. So I'm very curious to see how I get on with this. Now I have a good molecules cleansing balm that I need to finish up for 50 Shades of Purple, but I'm nearly there. I have a mini of the the Pharmacy Green Clean Cleansing Balm in another project that I can't now remember because there's so many. I've lost my mind. And then this will come in, so it mightn't get used this first go round, but hopefully next month we should be getting use out of it. Yeah, I'm curious about that, to see how does it stack up again, especially after using the green clean. It would be brilliant because it means I can really see, I can do a real comparison to see, you know, this is obviously a fraction of the cost of the green clean, and I love the green clean. That is it. We are done. That is my intro for the I Love the 90s. I'll have the hashtags, I'll have the links to Laura's channel, I'll have the links to Fantastic Ladies all down below. But yeah, are you doing this project? Are you a child? No. Are you a teen of the 90s? Because I don't know if a child of the 90s will have the same memories that a teen of the 90s. Because we all know the teen years are the years that, you know, your formative years, you know, things that continue on into adulthood, or nostalgia. You know, the way a song will just bring you back to the 90s, you know. Although I was in school and stuff, I fucking hated school. I was just so bored. Yeah, okay, Ruth, enough. Are you doing this project? Let me know down below. If for some reason I'm not following you, please let me know so I can follow you back. If this is the first time that you have been to my channel and you can actually understand what I'm saying when I'm not stuttering over my words or not weeping every 5 seconds, I would love if you would subscribe. It would mean the absolute world to me. I would be thrilled. So yeah, hit that subscribe button, please. Hopefully I'll chat to you in the next one. Take care. Bye. Slán.